So the story of Job, one of the things I concluded from the story of Job, because it's a precursor to the crucifixion story. So Job makes two decisions. The first decision is that no matter how terrible things become for him, he will not lose faith in himself. Mm-hmm. And the second is, no matter what horrors are visited on him by Satan himself, he will not lose faith in the, what would you say, in the spirit that gave rise to the cosmic order.
Well, so, while I'm not a particularly religious person, I do believe that the teachings of Jesus are good and wise, and that there's tremendous wisdom in turn the other cheek. And for a while there, when I was young, I thought, well, that's really a weak thing to do.
Yeah, it can be.
If someone and with respect to bullies at school, I think you shouldn't turn the other cheek. You should punch them on the nose, and then thereafter make peace with them. But they need to stop bullying you, and a punch in the nose will stop that. And then thereafter, make peace.
Sometimes that punch on the nose is the first step in making peace with bullies.
Yes, it may, change their career from being a bully to perhaps they shouldn't be doing such things. Yeah, I think this notion of forgiveness is important. I think it's essential because if you don't forgive, then, as I forget who said it, but an eye for an eye makes everyone blind. Mm-hmm. If you're going to seek vengeance and you have this never-ending cycle of vengeance. Mm-hmm.
There are anthropological speculations that we were caught in a 350,000-year cycle of not getting anywhere after modern human beings emerged precisely because of that, because we couldn't get out of accelerating tit-for-tat revenge cycles.
Yeah, so I'm actually a big believer in the principles of Christianity. I think they're very good.
So in what sense, then, are you not religious? Well, so Dawkins just came out 3 weeks ago or thereabouts and announced that he was a cultural Christian, right? And so the question...
Right, I would say I'm probably a cultural Christian.
Okay, so...
I was brought up as an Anglican, and I was baptized. And although, oddly enough, my parents also simultaneously sent me to a Jewish nursery school, preschool. So it was Jesus our Lord.
Well, the Jews have a reputation for being religious too,
Yeah, no, I might have been the only non-Jewish kid at the school. I didn't even realize that was the thing. So, but I was just singing Harvard Nagila one day and Jesus our Lord the next, Mm-hmm. So that is my upbringing.
So when Dawkins announced he was a cultural Christian, the question that came to my mind right away was, okay, there's a bunch of things going on there. The first is Dawkins' proclamation or admission that if you compared different societies and their axiomatic suppositions, he would prefer the ones predicated on Christian axiomatic assumptions.
I do think those are good ones.
Okay, so that's why I asked you the question about why you would consider yourself not a religious person, because it seems to me that the essence of it isn't the statement that you abide by a particular Protestant creed, let's say. It seems to me much more akin to the notion that you believe that this set of axiomatic presuppositions is like the pronatalist presumption. It's correct, like it's not correct.
It's going to lead to a better society, a society I think that we would prefer to be. If you say, what will result in the greatest happiness for humanity, considering not just the present, but all future humans.
Happiness or meaning? Which would you pick?
Personally, I'd pick meaning, because for me, meaning leads to happiness. But I think that's...
Right, but the reverse isn't necessarily the case.
Yeah, let's just say, if you... I could say contentment or something. But I think if a set of principles is likely to lead to a society thinking of themselves as happy or content, or...
well, okay,
then you want to... Then principles that lead to the most amount of happiness over time.
Yeah.
Not just the present.
Yeah. That iteration element's important.
Yeah. Because you have to consider the happiness of future humans as well.
I think that's where the ethos actually develops, is that it's a consequence of iterated games. Right now, but the contentment issue I have a harder time with. So, reward divides into two categories. There's satiation reward, and there's dopamine incentive reward, and they're not the same.
Sure.
And it looks to me, given what you've already told me about the way that you resolved your existential crisis, is that you consistently pick that's adventure reward fundamentally over contentment. Now, You like your
Yes.
kids and you're content with them, I presume, when
Yes.
you're playing. But the way that you found meaning in your life is not through contentment, it's through adventure. That seems to me to be the case.
Well, it's not adventure for the sake purely of adventure. I do like adventure. But, for example, a lot of people find happiness and contentment with adventure, like climbing tall mountains, or hiking along trails, going, exploring the wilderness and that kind of thing. I've never really found it compelling to, say, climb Mount Everest.
You're doing it conceptually.
Conceptually and from a knowledge standpoint. Knowledge Mount Everest.
Right, so it's adventure. It's adventure with a destination in mind, right? And you already described the destination. It's
the destination is
deep understanding.
Yes, to deepen our understanding of the nature of the universe. I think this is. I mean, one I guess could call it a religion. I wouldn't be upset about that. But that is my religion. For, lack of a better way to describe it, is really, it's the religion of curiosity, the religion of greater enlightenment, and then if you follow that, so like that's the goal, then what falls out of that goal? What falls out of that goal is to have consciousness expand in scale and scope. I use scale and scope to say that we want more consciousness, and I think it's also good to have varied consciousness. So that everyone's not thinking exactly the same thing.
That's those multiple eyes, eh?
Yeah.
Marduk's head.
So I think it's probably good to have multiple religions and have different perspectives on things. And so what falls out of that is we need to take a set of actions that increase the probability that the future will be good for humanity, and that and we want to expand consciousness. We want to. I think we should increase the population of Earth, not decrease it.